world's most celebrated Christmas tree that's arrived in New York City. The 85-foot tall Norway spruce. It was cut down in central Pennsylvania on Wednesday. 13-ton tree made a 155-mile journey to Manhattan. All right, well, here's a live look at the tree now in its place on display at the Rockefeller Center, overlooking the ice skating rink at this point. The tree is going to be lit on December 3rd in a ceremony that has been held since 1933. Now, after Christmas, the tree will return to Pennsylvania, and its wood will be used to build homes for Habitat for Humanity. So, looking good, great cause, and folks are already out there on the skating rink enjoying their time. A pretty scene in New York this morning. Cool, but it's going to get even chillier. To explain it all, Jen's in the lab with your winter weather update.
And for New York City, the cold gets here at the end of next week. But this is a very large and long-lived cold outbreak, so get ready for the polar air invasion and everything that comes with it, including snow. And that's where we start in this winter weather update, the polar air and the cold coming in. Let's look at these temperatures. Below average readings all throughout the northern plains and northern Rockies. We'll see that on Monday, filter in on Tuesday, spreading out all across the western lakes, all the way down onto the deep south, the southern plains. You will see temperatures running below average, and you will see this cold air stick around for the week ahead. Temperatures from Kansas City to Green Bay to Cleveland, anywhere from 20 degrees below average to 15 degrees below average. Minneapolis, let's talk cold for you, because you've got both cold and snow in your forecast over the next several days, and the cold is going to last much longer than anything else. So this weekend, we got temperatures not that far below average. Average right now is 46 degrees. We take a look at the forecast beyond that, and we are sub 32. Here's the 32 degree line. We are sub 32 degrees all the way through next weekend, even into next week and a few days beyond that. If you go back and look at the history books, 15 days is the longest stretch of 32 degree or lower high temperatures in November in Minneapolis. And this next one below that is a stretch of 11 days. So we're going to give that a run for the money here and see if we will hold that stretch for longest streak of 32 or lower high temperature days in Minneapolis. So with the cold air, you got to wonder, is there going to be any snow? And the answer is yes. So we'll have our low pressure, very classic situation setting up here. We'll have low pressure that forms out on the lee side of the Rockies. You'll see that develop, and you'll see it move back up across the plains through into the Midwest. And as that happens, it'll get some jet stream energy to develop the low pressure system. You'll have the warm front and you'll have the cold front, and on north of it, you'll have all that cold air. Well, in the warm sector, just like any other low pressure system, you will see the warm air coming up, bringing up some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and that warm air will be able to overrun the very dense and heavy cold air that's to the north of there. So when that happens, this is a situation where we can get snowfall. This will be a very thick layer of cold air all the way up into the atmosphere. You've got lots of cold air. So we're talking snow, and with that cold air in place right here, that northwestern side of the low, that's the sweet spot for the clouds to form and the snow to really develop, and we're expecting a band of snow that will put down anywhere from 3 to 5, if not even 5 to 8 inches of snow. Some spots may get up to a foot. So we've got the two models we like to look at, the European and the GFS. First stop is the European, and that puts the heavier snow from Minnesota into Wisconsin. This is starting on the Monday and Tuesday time frame. For the GFS, it's very similar. The corridor of heavy snow is slightly different, but honing in on this Minneapolis to north central Wisconsin area for some of the heaviest snow from this next system. Alex, over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jen. And yeah, that's going to do it all for us here on Weather Center Live. Of course, we got more show coming up with Bonnie and Mark. And you guys are, of course, going to take the baton, and it's all about this polar air invasion.
It's a chilly baton today. I might have been in the freezer with you for a bit.
Yeah, not only that, but we're also tracking snow that'll develop across a wide swath of areas of the northern part of the country.
Absolutely, indeed. So, you know, if you weren't ready for winter, too bad, right?
Yeah, right. We're going to bring the updates on where the new winter storm watches are coming out, where the cold air is going, where the snow is going to be. It's all about the cold today.
All right. Well, everyone, get ready to bundle up. Have a good one.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79. Tonight, showers early. Thunder possible. Low 66. Sunday, rain. High 73. Chance of rain 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, millions are about to experience the polar air invasion. I'm taking one for the team, standing in this sub-zero freezer to show you how the body reacts to the frigid conditions.
And here are the cold, hard facts about this polar air invasion. More than 200 million in the eastern 2/3 of the nation are going to feel it. And wait until you hear how long it's going to stick around.
I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel in the Twin Cities, and we are awaiting the first blast of Arctic air and the first snowstorm. Yeah, we're going to get both on the same day. We'll have the forecast and talk to someone who's in from California about how she feels about this cold air.
They say snowflakes are just like fingerprints. No two are exactly alike. Or are they? We answer that age-old question right here, right now on Weather Center Live.
And welcome into Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider in for Kate Parker. Our big story today is the polar air invasion. Freezing temperatures could linger for up to 10 days for millions of people.
Yeah, some of you in Metro Atlanta bundled up early against the chilly temperatures this morning. You were in the upper 30s and watching the implosion of a former hotel in DeKalb County. I mean, check out this explosive video from Brian Bruck.
Wow, that looks just like out of a movie. I think the McDonald's survived just fine.
I hope so.
Late next week, temperatures will be crashing down even in Atlanta as the polar air invasion takes hold. Mark, it looks like the Midwest will be feeling this blast of cold air pretty early on.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, let's take you live now in towards the Twin Cities, where you are barely going to be cracking into the 40s today. That's just the beginning, though. It's going to be a chilly game in store. The Minnesota Gophers are hosting Iowa today. A chance of snow tonight, and buckle up. This is just the beginning. We are going to see much colder temperatures come your way, but we have to start out with what you're seeing right now and what you're going to see this weekend, because it's going to be a cool weekend across the north. We've already seen one cold front come through. Again, this is just setting the stage. Cold front is now making its way through the Great Lakes and into the Ohio Valley. Behind this front, strong northwest winds are cranking. Right now, Minneapolis, you're at 35, Fargo, 34, Omaha, 38. So it's cool, but it's certainly expected cool for this time of year. Here's the thing, though. It's going to get colder from here. As we go through the day today, we're going to see those really gusty winds moving out, continuing to move that cold air down. Still that cold front kicking up some rain and some snow showers. We don't have much showing up behind that front. It's really now the Great Lakes that are going to be seeing the precipitation associated with this front. Temperatures will be falling. You may have already hit your high in Green Bay, 40 degrees or so. And then the temperatures will start to cool down because we're going to see those northwest winds cranking. So for today, Chicago, you'll hit 43 if you haven't already. St. Louis, 51. Kansas City, 51. These are all 5 to 10 degrees below average. By tomorrow, Minneapolis, you'll be about 5 degrees below average. Upper 30s. Traverse City, upper 30s for you. Detroit, mid 40s. But again, this is just the beginning. We're going to see much colder air coming into play after this weekend. So Minneapolis, although you're cool for this weekend and cloudy Sunday and about 5 degrees below average, we could be talking 15 to 20 below average in just a couple of days. Bonnie.
Mark, that is very cold, and Minnesota's Twin Cities certainly feeling the brunt of this coming polar air invasion. Now, Mike Seidel, he is right here. He's joining us live from Minneapolis. And Mike, I see the flags kind of blowing in the wind behind you. How is the weather there right now?
Yeah, it's not too bad this morning. Our temperatures in the mid-30s, actually a little bit above average. We are getting gusts still over 35 miles an hour, so there is a wind chill down in the low 20s. And I've got someone who's not used to the cold weather, Akimi.
Yes.
Daly from,
Yes.
originally from Japan, but from Glendora, which is in Southern California.
Correct.
And you're in for a conference, and what do you think? Do you have enough layers? I know it.
Yes, I'm enjoying it. I was getting the winds almost like facing it. Oh, cool air.
Yes. Now you told me you're going to leave before the snowstorm, but you
Yes.
like to stick around.
I was checking the weather. Oh, it's gonna be snow. It's gonna be snow. Oh no, it's rain. It's gonna be cloudy. I was checking, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna miss the snow. And I was just talking to taxi driver. Then she said, no, don't say that. We don't want snow.
So the taxi drivers don't want the snow. So how long have you lived in Southern California?
More than 20 years.
So have you ever seen it snow? You probably have never seen it snow in Southern Cal.
I mean,
except up in the mountains.
Yeah, we go to mountains.
Bear.
Mount Baldy, or then we see, but not on my ground.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you're going to miss the snowstorm. But you'll be back in sunny, mild California.
I know.
And we're going to try to get you some rain this winter.
Oh, good. We need that. We need that.
Good
Okay,
luck. Enjoy
thank
the
you.
conference today.
Thank
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
As far as the snowfall goes, here's that forecast again, starting in Montana tomorrow, where the watches are already posted, and then sweeping out across the plains in the Midwest. Here in Minneapolis, we're looking for 5 to 8. Again, we'll be adjusting that band north and south. And right now, we have a 50-50 chance of naming the storm. We'll be here for it. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Mike. I think that young lady from California is probably glad she's missing all the cold air. But the polar air invasion is coming. You can't stop it. And looking at the maps, what we can expect is really a very large storm system that's emerging from pretty far away. Here we are at the poles where some of that cold air certainly is coming from. But what's different about a typical setup is that the colder air is plunging further to the south. We have above average snow cover. That's keeping things certainly very cold. And notice this area here in pink. This is where we're seeing some of the coldest air. As we go through next week, you'll watch for this very cold air to work its way so far south. We are talking about the deep south, even into Texas. So temperatures are plunging 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Highs will be well below average, and it's pretty widespread, stretching all the way even into Louisiana. So 2/3 of the country chilling out early on before winter even arrives. Breaking it down, we were talking about the Midwest, and you can see temperatures are going to be almost 20 degrees colder than they typically are this time of year, like in Bismarck, Rapid City, only in the 20s. That's high temperatures. And then as we work our way towards Tuesday, you can see the numbers just plummet as that cold air works its way further to the south and even to the east as well. Temperatures in Chicago hovering around freezing. It is not typically this cold in Chicago, but by Wednesday and Thursday, we'll really be watching for this cold air to work its way through. Mark?
And today we're preparing you for the impending polar air invasion. Our Alex Wallace taking one for the team to make sure you're ready for all this cold air.
Well, standing in this sub-zero freezer, toes are numb, fingers are numb, and I tell you, how long am I going to last in here? I don't know, but you've got to be prepared because some cold air is about to hit the country.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
When Mr. Clean started writing a book about his magic eraser, he found it cleans everything from stovetops to scuffed shoes and more. And when he ran out of pages, he made a website instead. Share your tips at mycleanbook.com.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel. An Arctic blast means record lows in the eastern part of the country. Our first major snowfall out west, and we're tracking a storm that could affect travel plans for millions. Live team coverage from North Carolina to New England. Watch Wake Up with Al and AMHQ with Sam Champion. Monday morning on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79. Tonight, showers early. Thunder possible. Low 66. Sunday, rain. High 73. Chance of rain 60%. Rainfall near a quarter of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this.
Listen to that! Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Now, Centrum Silver has a new easy-to-swallow coating. So the nutrients for your eyes, heart, and brain go down easier. For a limited time, get your $4 coupon at Centrum.com.
So, as my personal financial psychic, I'm sure you know what this meeting is about.
Yes, a raise.
I'm letting you go.
I knew that.
You see, this is my Amerivest managed...
Balances.
No, portfolio. And if it doesn't perform well for 2 consecutive...
Gold.
Quarters.
Yeah.
Then Amerivest gives me back their advisory...
Stocks.
Fees for those quarters.
Yeah.
So, I'm confident I'm in good hands.
For all the confidence you need. TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Bring it on.
Watch what you wish for when it comes to cold and snow.
Yeah, winter doesn't officially start until December 21st, but 200 million people are about to shiver their way through this teeth-chattering polar air invasion. And you know what? The eastern two-thirds of the country, going outside, uncomfortable, and not only uncomfortable, but maybe even dangerous in a few spots.
That's true, where those temperatures are dropping. Now, meteorologist Alex Wallace recently took one for the team. He went to test these freezing conditions to see how long our bodies can really last in the brutal cold.
Well, it's about to get cold. We're talking Arctic air, polar air plunging its way into the country. Millions going to be feeling the impact. So I'm here now at Jake's Ice Cream in Atlanta, Georgia, to find out how the body reacts to very cold temperatures. And with me right now is Dr. Sylvia Morris. She's here to sort of explain what the body goes through and exactly what we need to do to stay safe in this situation.
Definitely. It's really cold. So it's really important that you start off by having layers and being prepared, because we lose heat from everywhere in our body that's exposed.
Absolutely. And right now, I only have basically this and an undershirt. We'll see if I can last very long when I go into the real freezer. Right now, I'm sort of in the outer freezer where temperatures are in the 30s. In there, it's much colder. In fact, I'll point to my little thermometer and show you minus 3.9 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so I'm going to go in, see how long it lasts. Let's see it.
I'll start the timer.
See you guys.
Well, fingers, toes, ears, and nose. I feel like it's a bad version of Head and Shoulders, the little kid song. Those are the areas susceptible to frostbite. Any of those kind of tips that are exposed.
Absolutely. But will the ice cream, will that save him?
Well, at least he'll be full.
Yes. And coming up 40 past the hour, Alex Wallace, he's braving those freezing temperatures, and the clock is ticking. So we're going to check back with him in just a bit.
We'll see if he defrosts by stepping outside into a beautiful Atlanta right now. Look at this. A beautiful weekend in store. And this is the weekend you have to enjoy it. The cold air is coming your way. You're at the top of the Coca-Cola World Headquarters building, looking across at Midtown Atlanta. What a great shot there. And try to get outside today, because by this weekend into Monday, sunshine, highs close to 70, and then the bottom drops out. By Thursday and Friday, high temperatures will be in the 50s and then the 40s. And look at the lows getting back to near the freezing line again. So get ready to protect the people, the pets, the plants, and the pipes as we work our way to the end of the week. Bonnie.
Oh, that's good advice. I think we're going to have to do a lot of protecting from the cold because 2/3 of the country over the next 7 days will be feeling a brutal blast of Arctic air. Not so much for today. It's 41 in Minneapolis and in the 40s in Chicago. Temperatures are still comfortable, but notice the tiny little change there with 39 for the high tomorrow. By the time we get to Monday, we'll be watching for a swath of snow and even freezing rain all the way to Wisconsin and parts of Michigan. By Monday and Tuesday, it's a little more widespread. Rain for the south. And there it is. Look at the numbers. When you start seeing highs in the 20s, that's a sign of what's to come. The polar air plunging southward. So we're going to see temperatures dropping to near 50 in Dallas by Wednesday, then 44 on Thursday. Thursday is really a big day for this Arctic air where 2/3 of the country will be feeling it. Notice the high in Minneapolis, 28 degrees. And the problem with this blast that we're about to experience is that these cold temperatures will stay in play, especially for this part of the country, for quite some time. At least 10 days. Keep those winter jackets out and just be prepared for the cold to stick around. I know, even though it's not winter yet. Mark?
And Bonnie, this polar air invasion is going to have a big impact on your weekend, including some big football games that could determine who plays for the NCAA national title. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow breaks down how this cold weather could play a major role in one of the weekend's bigger matchups. And is Astro on the horizon? We'll let you know if this Arctic blast could develop into the first named winter storm of this season. We certainly have the cold air in place, but we have enough precipitation. We'll tell you next.
What do astronauts eat?
Have lunch with one and find out. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
There is no car in this accident. Because there was no accident. Volvo's most advanced accident avoidance systems ever. The future of safety from the company that has always brought you the future of safety. Give the gift of Volvo this season, and we'll give you your first month's payment on us.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's share the news tomorrow. Today we're fairly busy. Tomorrow we're booked solid.
We close on the house tomorrow.
Want one of these opened up? Because tomorrow we go live.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today? Even bigger one tomorrow.
When CSX trains move forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
I told my dentist about my sensitive teeth. He told me there's a whole new way to treat sensitivity. He suggested I try new Crest Sensi-Stop strips.
Just apply to the gum line of sensitive teeth for a quick 10 minutes. The special ingredient forms a lasting barrier that provides immediate relief and up to 1 month of protection. See why dental professionals endorse Crest Sensi-Stop strips to treat sensitivity. That's one strip, 10 minutes, and up to 1 month of protection. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Life opens up when you relieve sensitivity.
What does a 37 million horsepower launch feel like?
Experience it for yourself. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel, an Arctic blast means record lows in the eastern part of the country, our first major snowfall out west, and we're tracking a storm that could affect travel plans for millions.
You're driving along, having a perfectly nice day, when out of nowhere a pickup truck slams into your brand new car. 1 second, it wasn't there, and the next second, boom, you had your first accident. Now you have to make your first claim. So you talk to your insurance company, and boom, you're blindsided for a second time. They won't give you enough money to replace your brand new car. Don't those people know you're already shaken up?
Liberty Mutual's new car replacement will pay for the entire value of your car, plus depreciation. Call 1-888-731-2166. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Switch to Liberty Mutual Insurance and you could save up to $423. Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-888-731-2166. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
1-800-985-5891. That's 1-800-985-5891.
weather like never before.
Look at this!
Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we are giving you your winter weather update. And we have to start out all the way near Alaska. This huge bombing out area of low pressure, which is a fancy term for an area of low pressure that's getting stronger very quickly, is all the way here in the Gulf of Alaska. Here's some of the Alaskan islands, right? And here's the center of that counterclockwise spin. This is a major player for our weather across the lower 48 over the next several days. It actually has ties back to the tropics. Remember, Nori, this went from the storm to this area of low pressure, converted to out of the tropics into a regular old low, but a very strong low at that. And what that's doing is pumping this warmer air up to the north, right? And what comes up must come down. So with this strong area of low pressure deepening and strengthening here towards the Bering Sea and the Gulf of Alaska, and all this warm air going up here, it then has to push something down further downstream. And that's what is setting the stage for our cold air. Our polar air invasion, right, is all tied back to that strong area of low pressure. Eventually, this cold air that's locked up across northern Canada will get pushed down as the ridge across the western United States gets pushed up. And again, it's all this seesaw balancing act tied back to that very strong low. So here's the setup, right? By Thursday, cold air, this big dip in the jet stream over the eastern 2/3 of the country. So if you're going to see winter weather, you need two main things, right? You need the cold air and you need the precipitation. So it seems pretty clear that we're going to have this Arctic air spilling south. High temps will be 10 to 20 degrees below average. And we can look at some of the details here. Over the next few days, we'll be watching that cold air coming into play, right? Temperatures in Denver, 25 degrees below average by Tuesday. We work our way into Wednesday and 30 degrees below average for the Denver area, 20 degrees below average for Kansas City. So the cold air is certainly in place. Look at Minneapolis staying below freezing all the way through this huge 10-day forecast. But we'll also have some precipitation coming in. We already have some winter storm watches up across Montana, winter weather advisories into North Dakota, and many of our models saying that we will indeed have that precipitation coming into play across the northern tier. Bonnie, over to you.
Thanks, Mark. What a week ahead. Well, a primer of some unseasonably chilly air could make for some rough football this weekend. That includes one big game tonight. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow shows us how Ohio State and Michigan State do when the temperatures tumble.
We got a huge matchup in the Big Ten on Saturday night. Has national title implications as well. Talking about number 14 Ohio State going into East Lansing, taking on the Spartans of Michigan State. And the weather forecast is cold. Rain earlier in the day, but maybe a few flurries sticking around, but mid to low 30s throughout the game. It made us think, okay, how do the teams deal with cold weather? We look back in the record books here for Michigan State 2 years ago, and temperatures similar to tonight. They actually played 3 games, lost 2 of them. Now, last season, they played 2 games in the cold, won both, but the defense stepped up, holding both opponents to under 7 points. And this season, they only played 1 game so far. Last month in the cold against Nebraska, they gave up a lot of yards, over 320. 282 in passing yards, but they still won in the cold weather. Now, what about the Buckeyes here? Well, we go back 2 seasons ago. They played 1 game in weather like Saturday night's weather, and they did beat Michigan and gave up decent yards, under 300 yards in terms of the defense. 1 year ago, they played 2 games in the cold weather, and they won both of those. And so far this year, last week, they played their first game in the cold weather so far this season, and they won that. Won it big over the Illini and held them to under 250 yards of offense. So, again, Ohio State is 4-0 in the past 3 seasons in cold weather. Michigan State, by the way, is 4-2 in those cold weather games. So in terms of the overall defense so far this year with Ohio State, most of their stats are in the top 20 of the league, and in fact, 8th in terms of total defense. So pretty decent stats there. But what about Michigan State? Well, most of those stats are in the top 20 except for scoring defense. But overall defense, total defense, is a little bit better than Ohio State. But based on past performance in cold weather games, with Michigan State giving up a lot of passing yards, well, my actual edge and advantage goes to Ohio State based on the forecast for the game, as well as previous performances. I'd say take Ohio State and just 2 points. They're the underdog. I think they'll go into East Lansing and win based on the weather. Back to you.
Great analysis. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, taking the underdog. Amazing. And you'll be impacted by this polar air invasion as well. Maybe asking if this is the polar vortex. We'll answer next.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Toenail fungus? Don't hide it, fight it with new FDA-approved Jublia. Jublia, efinaconazole 10% topical solution, is a prescription medicine proven to treat fungal infections of the toenails. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor. Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness, itching, swelling, burning or stinging, blisters, and pain. Fight it! Ask your doctor now if new Jublia is right for you.
Hurry! There's a hot offer for heartburn sufferers. Now try Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com. Hurry! It's free this week only. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Get Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com.
Our pets take care of us in so many ways. At Petco, we do what we can to return the favor with choices like Natural Balance, Ultra Whole Body Health, a gluten-free diet that also supports brain health. Because true companions always look out for each other. Petco.
So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. Ach, verdammt! I said it 3 times and it's still not true.
Performance is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200. America's import.
From coast to coast, in every state, people all across the nation are learning something new. That the best way to protect their cars, trucks, and SUVs is with WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to perfectly protect your specific vehicle. Front, back, even up the sides. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMax. WeatherTech floor liners, proudly made in America.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeters per day. So easy, Sam. A caveman could do it. Got it? Great.
That is amazing.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early. Thunder possible. Low 66. Sunday, rain. High 74. Chance of rain 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
The top. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel in Minneapolis-St. Paul. We've got Arctic air coming down from the North Pole, literally, and we have a snowstorm on tap. We got it all covered for you.
Thanks, Mike, and welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider in for Kate Parker. Our big story today, the polar air invasion on tap to impact 2/3 of the United States. And these freezing and below average temperatures could linger for up to 10 days.
Yeah, it is going to be really cold out there. People are going to notice this cold. I mean, check this out.
That's true. So if you want to get out and enjoy the milder weather, this is someone who is Alex from Spokane Valley in Washington State, taking in the fall splendor. Beautiful fall foliage for this time of year. It is looking nice out there, at least for now, right, Mark?
Yeah, it is. And you know what? It's going to change, right? We want to see what you're up to this weekend. You can use the hashtag #YourWeekend on social media. Here's a view of Deadwood, South Dakota. Thanks to the Rapid City Journal. It looks like a nice little downtown, little stroll. Not too bad out there yet. It's cool already, but seasonably cool. But here's the thing. The bottom's going to fall out. We are going to get much colder. Check this out, right? Although you're going to be in the upper 50s to near 60 today, and even tomorrow, Monday, 20 with snow and blowing snow at that, a low near 6 to 7 below for Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is just the beginning of a polar air invasion that really gets going as we work our way into next week. We can take a look at it, for example, Denver. Denver for Sunday will be near 70. By Wednesday, you'll be near 20. Nothing like a good 50-degree drop to make you notice a different weather maker moving its way on through, right? That is a huge change across the area. So again, it's already cool, if not cold, across the northern tier. But as we put this into motion and go through the week, big dip in the jet stream comes into play. The cold air goes all the way into the deep south, the southern plains, the southeast. The very cold air drops down from the poles, comes down across Canada and in towards the northern tier. Brutally cold compared to what you should be seeing if you just go by averages this time of year. 20, even 30 degrees below average, not out of the question, with widespread areas 10 to 20 degrees below average. Denver, for example, will be closer to that 30 degrees below your average temperatures for this time of year. And again, it's not just the north. We're talking all the way down to the Gulf Coast states. It is going to be extremely chilly. So Monday, look at Bismarck. 24 will be the best you can do. Rapid City will be at 25. We can continue to move this on into Tuesday, Bonnie, and that cold air goes even further south. Get ready. Teeth chattering cold on the way.
Oh, I am ready for it. I have the winter coat out. Well, another person who's certainly ready for the cold always is Mike Seidel, and you know, he's in Minneapolis this morning. And Mike, I know it's not too bad out there right now, but would you say that Minnesotans in general are ready for this early blast of polar air?
Well, let's find out. We have a golden gopher here. This is Katie Schmidt from west of here in Buffalo, Minnesota. Are you ready for the what's about to come in here Monday? Not only the cold, but the snow.
Well, I guess we're going to have to be ready. I'd be more excited if it were spring that we're blowing in, but hey, we're from Minnesota.
Okay, you talked about Katie's a farmer. They have a big farm here in the Buffalo area. Tell us about the issues you had last spring, because we know how brutal the winter was.
You know, farming's always kind of a fun challenge. This spring we weren't able to plant on time because it was cool and wet. It was just too wet to plant. It was a dry summer, and so the corn matured somewhat the way it should be. And now, you know, we're able to get the corn out, but you know, now we're facing some rain again.
What about your other crops?
Other crops are good. Hay was very, very good. It was a great summer for hay because we did get the rain and we did get the heat. But beans kind of the same. You know, they kind of are the same with corn. You have to have the dry to get it in and the dry to get it out. And so it's, you have good years, you have bad years. That's farming.
That's right. And so you're hopeful that next spring is nothing like last spring.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Well, Katie Schmidt, enjoy your winter. I know as a farmer you get a little downtime.
That's right.
Maybe we'll go someplace warm.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there you go.
Try to get some skiing in and snowmobiling.
There you go.
Yep. We got to enjoy it.
Okay, guys. There you go. Katie Schmidt with a farmer's take on last winter and what she hopes this winter will bring. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. We're just looking at the Detroit forecast. Just one more area that in the next 10 days we'll see a huge drop to these temperatures. And, you know, with the talk of the polar air invasion, conjuring up flashbacks of that term we heard a lot last winter.
That's for sure. But is this early blast of winter also called the polar vortex? Our experts explain.
Polar vortex sounds more like a Nicolas Cage movie, doesn't it? We gotta get out of this vortex. The dollar bill has a polar bear on it.
I want to salute whoever came up with the term polar vortex. It is terrifying, but still sounds all science-y.
Well, earlier this year, the term polar vortex stormed its way back into the popular vernacular. Guess what? It's back in vogue.
Temperatures are about to drop dramatically in much of the country. It's the return of the polar vortex.
The polar vortex is going to be allowed to make its way further south, and not just into the plain states, but by the end of next week, it will be as far south as northern Florida.
Yes, winter weather is here, and with it comes yet another media avalanche of that term polar vortex. But here's what you can only get at the Weather Channel. Pop culture meets our experts at the lab. I'm here with Dr. Greg Postel. And Greg, hopefully we're going to explain what the polar vortex is. Now, this is one of your areas of expertise, so let's get right into it.
The polar vortex is basically just a circulation that surrounds the coldest air that is often found at the poles, and it extends over many altitudes. I mean, it can go up to 100,000 feet in or more in what's called the stratosphere, and there it often looks a lot different than it does at the jet stream level. Up there, it looks often just symmetrical, like circular, swirling around the pole like that, sometimes with a couple of wiggles in it, sometimes many more than that, but more often than not, it looks a lot different down near the jet stream level, like 30,000 feet, for example, where it oftentimes extends its filaments, its fingers, way into southern latitudes, into places like the lower 48 or in parts of Asia or in parts of Europe. It's a part of the process where it extends the really cold air, normally at the North Pole, pretty far south.
Okay, and we can see that as we're coming up here next week. This is just an excellent example of what happens when one of those filaments breaks off and works its way down.
Yeah, here's one. These lavender colors represent the coldest of all the air, and you can see these pieces are broken off and they come southward into the United States. But you know, it's going to be really, really cold, and we can actually thank some of this, I think, in some relationship to what happened in the West Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
A big tropical cyclone in the West Pacific, Nuri, super typhoon out that way, helped amplify the pattern a little bit and helped send the jet stream way far north. Like, for example, look at next week. Some of these jet stream flows here are showing you how tall this ridge is in the jet stream. A warm bubble aloft is way up there. And when that happens, when you shove that warm air north, the response in the atmosphere is to get cold downstream of that oftentimes. And this is no exception. It's happened before and it'll happen again.
Boy, as a result of that, look what happens in the U.S. next week with our temperatures, Greg. This is really something for this time of the year to see all of these areas that are much below average for their temperatures.
Yeah, it's a huge territory here that's going to be covered, not just for a couple of days, but perhaps maybe 1, maybe 2 weeks. And if you look at some of these numbers in average sense, if you think of it 40, 50, 60 being your average high, subtract 10, 15, 20 degrees from that on average for an extended period. That's a pretty big deal.
So is that cold air next week going to be a piece of the polar vortex?
Yeah, it is. And it probably happens more often than you think.
A filament of the polar vortex and certainly a polar air invasion.
Our Alex Wallach is taking one for the team, all in the name of science.
Well, millions are about to experience the polar air invasion. I'm taking one for the team, standing in this sub-zero freezer to show you how the body reacts to the frigid conditions.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early. Thunder possible. Low 66. Sunday, rain. High 74. Chance of rain 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready app and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Now, Centrum Silver has a new easy-to-swallow coating. So the nutrients for your eyes, heart, and brain go down easier. For a limited time, get your $4 coupon at Centrum.com.
With breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
My family, we're close. Sometimes too close, which means we're always getting into each other's hair. That's why we use Head & Shoulders. Keeps us 100% flake-free and smells gorgeous. I use it. My whole world uses it. Head & Shoulders now smells better than ever.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Simply type in a name and follow the Ancestry leaf far into your family's past. A past filled with stories that intrigue and inspire. And in doing so, reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
There it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
And so you can see, you're like right here, I can just, check my policy here, add a car, speak to customer service, check on a claim, all with the tap of my Geico app.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, I would disagree with you, but that would make me a liar.
No, dude, you're on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, I pretty much walked into that one.
Geico, anywhere, anytime. Just a tap away on the Geico app.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
A party?
Hi, I'm new Ensure Active Clear Protein Drink.
Clear, huh? My nutritional standards are high.
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein.
Twist my lid. That's 3 times more than me.
17 vitamins and minerals.
And 0 fat.
You'll bring a lot to the party.
Yay! New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat, 17 vitamins and minerals, and delicious blueberry pomegranate and mixed fruit. Take life in.
Check out these brand new pictures from New England. Snow falling in Vermont last night. So pretty. Now, our own Jim Cantori shared this video he shot with us. Vermont received a few inches in the higher elevations and a trace of snow in Burlington. A polar air invasion will be moving in starting tomorrow, and along with sub-freezing temperatures, it'll also bring snow to many areas. But how much do you really know about an individual snowflake? In our Brainstorm segment, Sam Champion gives us a lesson on snowflakes like you've never seen.
You've heard the saying, no two snowflakes are alike, but does that cliche have any traction in science? Well, we've analyzed the odds, and here's the answer.
A snowflake begins to form when a water droplet freezes around an atmospheric dust particle. This becomes what's called a condensation nucleus and can be just 4 millionths of an inch in diameter. That's 1,000 times smaller than the thickness of a single sheet of paper. In sub-freezing temperatures, the water molecules crystallize around this speck of dust. When this crystal becomes heavier than the surrounding air, it begins to fall. During its approximate 15 to 45 minute trip to the ground, this new snowflake travels through changes in humidity, temperature, and wind. As the flake adds water molecules, each of these atmospheric factors contribute differently to form a unique 6-arm symmetrical pattern. For example, flakes that fall through cold and dry conditions typically have simpler, compact shapes, while those falling through warmer, more humid conditions often have very complex dendrites, or arms. Now, when taking into account the countless subtle variations of weather each crystal can experience, the odds of two snowflakes being exactly the same shape are astronomical. Under a microscope, an average-sized snowflake can easily have more than 100 distinguishable features. And even though every year it's been estimated that 1 septillion snow crystals fall to the ground, that's a 1 with 24 zeros, we'll still likely never see two that are identical.
You know, the colder it gets, the quicker frostbite can set in, just depending on how long you're outside, of course. And this polar invasion will certainly bring bitter temperatures. All morning, Alex Wallace is testing just how long his body can survive sub-zero temps as the stopwatch continues to move.
How you doing? All right. You know, it's definitely cold in here. There's no question about it. One thing I've noticed being in here is I expected my head and my ears to really be the thing that goes first, but I've noticed it's the fingers that are really the thing that are starting to get on the numb side. What's going on with my body?
Absolutely. That's important because the body, as soon as you walked in here, the brain said, ooh, it's cold. So what it wants to do is to move blood from the periphery, so your fingers, your toes, your ears, your nose, all those places, to your core. So your heart, your lungs, your liver, all of those things, your brain, very, very important. So I'm actually kind of surprised when I walked in and you said that as far as just feeling cold, but mainly your fingers, but then you lose a lot of heat from your head. Also, anything that's exposed, so the tips of your nose, your ears, all of those things should really be covered.
Okay. Yeah, as we were just talking, the head started to feel a little colder there, but no, it's the fingers right now that are definitely, I'm feeling that, no doubt about it. Starting to get a little numb.
Yeah, and you're shivering, which is the first step for hypothermia. You start to shiver because what it does is it creates energy and warmth for the body, just a little bit.
Okay. Well, body keeps shivering. I'm trying to stay warm here.
Absolutely.
You'll check back with me in just a bit. I'm still hanging in there. I'm still hanging in there. Not yet.
Not yet.
I think I can push. I can push.
Good luck, Alex. Eat some ice cream. That'll help. And just ahead in 30 minutes, Alex's cold journey continues. We'll show you what happens next.
Hi. Are we still on for tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Quick look at the weather. Nice today. Beautiful tomorrow.
Tomorrow is full of promise.
We can come back tomorrow.
And we promise to keep it that way. Driven to preserve the environment, CSX moves a ton of freight nearly 450 miles on 1 gallon of fuel.
What a day.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Rich, chewy caramel, rolled up in smooth milk chocolate.
All aboard.
Rolo, get your smooth on.
Listen to that!
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
There was no question she was the one. She reminds you every day. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
My grandson's got this blankie that gets filthy. But he's got such sensitive skin that you worry about what you use in the laundry. So I use new Tide Pods, free and gentle, to get a deep clean that's gentle on skin.
Ooh. New Tide Pods, free and gentle.
Right, these should be good. Oh, well, that didn't work.
Henry? Gorilla. It never works. Gorilla Super Glue. Of course.
Other super glues get brittle and break. Gorilla Super Glue's rubber-toughened formula holds even after repeated drops and bumps.
Oh, thanks. You know, this reminds me of the time, and you're gone.
Gorilla Super Glue, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
What's in a can of Del Monte green beans?
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaf.
Save $50 with this limited time TV offer.
Lose weight just in time for the holidays.
Start now and lose up to 15 pounds by New Year's. That's like a whole dress size.
I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Get a jump start with Fast 5. Lose 5 pounds in your first week or your money back guaranteed.
I love Nutrisystem because it's easy and it works. It's as simple as that.
I'm Melissa Joan Hart, and I lost 40 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day My Way plan now, and you'll get Fast 5, including 1 week of specially selected meals. Plus, you'll get 1 week of energizing shakes and 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes free. Plus, for a limited time, save $50.
I lost 41 pounds. It feels absolutely amazing to look in the mirror and know that that beautiful woman looking back is me.
There's never been a better time to get started.
This offer ends November 10th.
Call 888-649-SIZE now.
Your order, but you must call right now. To order your Lipozene, call 1-800-997-4948. That's 1-800-997-4948.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live, where you are looking live at Rapid City, South Dakota, where they have blown right past Thanksgiving and are already into the winter spirit, which is good news since the temperatures are going to be definitely feeling like winter here. An Arctic blast is on the way. A polar air invasion like you haven't seen yet this year. 60 on Saturday to 25 and blowing snow on Monday, with then temperatures in the teens over the next couple of days. So it is time now for your winter weather update, and we are going to follow this cold air as it works its way across the country. Look at this. We have to start all the way up in the Bering Sea. You see this big counterclockwise spin? This is a giant area of low pressure. The low itself is basically as large as Alaska, and if you know from your elementary map studies that Alaska's huge. Well, this low is enormous as well, and it actually has ties all the way back to the tropics. This is Nuri. Remember, Super Typhoon Nuri went past Japan, then transitioned from a tropical system to what we call an extratropical system, which means no more tropics, just a regular old area of low pressure. But this is going to have huge implications on our winter weather this week. It's because of this huge, powerful Aleutian low that we're seeing this really big influx of southerly winds with that counterclockwise spin around the low. So southerly winds bringing up the warm air. That's going to help to push the jet stream all the way up here above Alaska, a big ridge across the west. But what comes up must come down, and we're going to have a big dip in the jet stream across the eastern two-thirds of the country. That's what allows the cold air in. And when you're talking winter weather, you certainly need cold air and you need precipitation. So this is going to allow for the cold air. The Arctic air spilling south, high temps 10, 20, even 30 degrees below average. Look at Minneapolis. Right here's the 32-degree line. We're below that Monday all the way until next Monday. Just impulse after impulse of cold air. It is going to be chilly stuff. We've already got winter weather advisories and winter storm watches up, and the models are hinting at a good swath of snow across the northern tier. Again, this blue line is the 32-degree line. Area of low pressure comes across the plains, but the warm air and the moist air will go up and over that cold air dome. We can show you that another way here. Cold air across the north, area of low pressure, and this moisture coming up and over the warm front into that cold air, falling down as snow, Bonnie. Several inches, if not a foot. Not out of the question. Over to you.
Absolutely, and that storm could bring hurricane-force winds and waves up to 50 feet high in Alaska's Aleutian Islands. We spoke with the U.S. Coast Guard to see how they're preparing for the storm.
We've been putting out warnings for probably coming up on a week or so now, and we'll continue to do that. We're monitoring the storm as it approaches Alaska. Our experience in the past with the mariners in Alaska is they're typically, I would say the majority of the time, very respectful of the warnings, and they're very respectful of what these storms can bring into our area. So I don't anticipate resistance to that, and we really haven't seen that at this point.
The U.S. Coast Guard station in Alaska is one of the largest in the nation. They have helicopters and cutters on standby for potential rescues over the next few days as this big storm moves through.
So again, in the week ahead, most of the country will be dealing with extremely cold conditions, thanks at least in part to the remnants of what was once Nuri. And 200 million people will experience dangerously cold temperatures. So here's what you need to do to prepare for this cold.
And make sure you have hats, scarves, gloves, everything you need. The layers closest to your skin should be wool or synthetic material, not cotton, because cotton does a bad job of moisture management.
And this weekend, check the weather stripping around the doors and the windows in your home, because you don't want this Arctic air seeping in through the cracks and making it tougher to heat your home or making it more expensive for you, for that matter. Plus, vehicles will take a hit. Cold weather in a vehicle's electrical system can be an enemy, especially to the car's battery. So before to have battery, charging systems and fluids checked as well.
It's important to have all these things in play because that polar air is coming and it's going to affect 2/3 of the U.S.
Yeah, you know, we always talk about the P's this time of year. Check the people, the pets, the pipes, and the plants if they are still out there in the exposed areas.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, millions are about to experience the polar air invasion. I'm taking one for the team, standing in this sub-zero freezer to show you how the body reacts to the frigid conditions.
Yeah, and you won't need an ice cream chest to be able to see the cold air. The cold, hard facts about this polar air invasion right now. More than 200 million in the eastern 2/3 of the nation are going to feel this cold air. And wait until you hear how long it's going to stick around.
And some of those right here in the Twin Cities. My meteorologist Mike Seidel, we've got the lowdown on the low temps and how much you'll be shoveling for the first time this season, all coming up.
They say snowflakes, none two are alike. Maybe they're like fingerprints. Are they? We will answer that age-old question right here, right now on Weather Center Live.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider in for Kate Parker. Our big story today, the polar air invasion. Freezing temperatures could linger for up to 10 days for millions of people.
Yes, some of you in Metro Atlanta bundled up against chilly temperatures this morning in the upper 30s to watch an implosion of a former hotel in DeKalb County. You got to see this explosive video sent to us by Brian Bruck.
Late next week, the temperatures will be even crashing down in Atlanta as the polar air invasion takes hold. It looks like, Mark, areas of the Midwest will certainly be feeling that very early on.
Yeah, you know, hopefully people can still run in for that McGriddle after that building came down. But here's an area that's certainly going to see the cold air coming into play. Taking you live to the Twin Cities. Barely cracking into the 40s today, and that's going to feel warm compared to what's coming up. It'll be a chilly game in store for the Minnesota Gophers hosting Iowa today. A chance for snow tonight, and buckle up because the bottom's going to fall out. It is going to get much colder. But for now, we'll call it a cool weekend. This is the taster. This is the appetizer round of these chilly temperatures, and it's because we have had this cold front come through already. Behind the front, strong northwest winds. So right now, you're seeing that flow coming down, already ushering in the chillier temperatures, and temperatures in the mid-30s for Fargo and for Minneapolis. You can see that precipitation is up here by the Great Lakes. We're seeing some rain showers and some snow showers. We'll even zoom that in a little bit for you. So you can see that Traverse City is now on the rainy side of things, maybe about to crash over to a little bit of snow. before that precipitation totally shuts down. Green Bay, you're still hovering right about at 40 degrees, maybe 41 or so, but now the northwest winds are cranking. So temperatures today will be chilly and below average. 41 in Minneapolis, it's about 5 degrees below average. You'll be closer to 8, if not 10 degrees below average in Chicago today. By tomorrow, this cold air, or at least I should say cool air, makes its way through the Great Lakes, even into the Ohio Valley. Widespread readings 5 to 10 degrees below average, but this is just the beginning. By the next cold air outbreak, we're talking 10, 20, if not 30 degrees below average. It is going to be really quite cold. So get acclimated to the cool this weekend, right? 41 in Saturday in Minneapolis, near 40 Sunday as the clouds increase. We can also take a look at Detroit and some rain showers with that cold front going through Saturday, Sunday, mid-40s and cloudy. And then, Bonnie, we talk about the real cold air still coming.
It sure is. Minnesota's Twin Cities will certainly feel the brunt of this polar air invasion. And one person who doesn't mind the polar air at all is our own Mike Seidel. He's joining us now from Minneapolis. And Mike, you look just fine. I don't see, well, you're wearing gloves, but just a baseball hat there. Soon enough, I'm sure you'll be bundled up completely.
I will be layered up. I'll have even more layers. I kind of overdressed this morning. I didn't want to have any risk of any kind of shivering. 35 right now over at the airport. The wind chill's 25. So we went from 39 to 34 now with a little bit of sun, although the sun angle is very, very low here mid-November. We're back up to 35. Temperatures will stay just below 40 this afternoon. Hey, you know, last year was just so bad. I mean, most people will complain, even folks that like cold weather, because it went deep into the springtime. So Chicago, they've got the cure. They ordered extra salt. In fact, they've got 400,000 tons of salt on hand. That's 115,000 tons more than they had last winter. Snowiest, that was their snowiest season on record, third snowiest season on record, with over 85 inches of snow. Here's our forecast. Chicago, you don't get the snow this time, but look at that swath from Montana into the Dakotas, the plains. Here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, we're looking for 5 to 8, and no doubt watches and eventually warnings will be issued for a lot of this area. In fact, we could name this storm. This could be the first named storm of the season. As far as temperatures go here in the Twin Cities, today, tomorrow, about 40 or so. The average high is in the mid-40s. Excuse me. And as we go into next week, look at how the temperatures tumble. Below freezing, 10, 11, maybe 12 days in a row. We could be going to our second longest stretch of November sub-freezing cold on record. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. It looks like that bus is very close to you, but it's actually far enough away. You're fine. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. Live in Minneapolis. You know, we're talking about the polar air invasion. It's going to impact so many. Minneapolis is one of the first places that you'll feel it. The cold air certainly dropping down all the way from the poles. That's right. We have above normal snow cover for this part of the world, and there's the cold air certainly as well into play. And as we go through the next few days, we'll watch for this cold air, the very cold air, highlighted in pink and purple here on the map, to plunge all the way southward across as far south as Texas. You're going to feel this. So zooming into the region, high temperatures are going to be up to 35 degrees below what they typically are. I mean, that is a big change from what we would typically see in November. Looking as an example, by Monday, Chicago from 57 all the way Thursday, 33 for your high temperature. You really have to be prepared for all types of weather when you're dressing this week, and that holds true for Oklahoma City. Another dramatic change there from 73 Monday all the way down to temperatures teetering right around the freezing mark by Thursday. So big changes ahead for this week. That's why you want to keep it here to the Weather Channel. We're breaking it down day by day for you. Looking at Billings as well, that's a big change. Near 60 down to a high of only 11. I mean, that is just incredible. That's going from spring to the bitter winter. Looking ahead to Minneapolis, where Mike is, temperatures dropping down into the 20s over the next few days. And what's interesting about this polar air invasion is that temperatures will stay there for at least 10 days. So it's not going to be one cold day and then suddenly it's gone. It's sticking around. Well, today, certainly we're preparing for this polar air invasion. Our Alex Wallace will have more on that. First, we'll go to Mark.
Yeah, you know, this cold air is going to be very impressive. Alex taking one for the team today.
Standing in this sub-zero freezer, toes are numb, fingers are numb, and I tell you, how long am I going to last in here? I don't know, but you got to be prepared because some cold air is about to hit the country.
I take Prilosec OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because it gives me zero heartburn.
Sec OTC, the #1 doctor-recommended frequent heartburn medicine for 9 straight years. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
So here's the story of Lancaster. The year is 1890. Milton Hershey has a killer recipe for caramel. Flash forward, Milton's recipe is reimagined into buttery, rich, smooth, surprisingly soft creams. It's Lancaster. It's caramel reimagined.
This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this. Listen to that.
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near a quarter of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Now, Centrum Silver has a new easy-to-swallow coating. So the nutrients for your eyes, heart, and brain go down easier. For a limited time, get your $4 coupon at Centrum.com.
Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, I'm Melissa Joan Hart.
And I'm Anthony Anderson. And guess what? The holiday season starts right now.
Yep, so head to Walmart now for unbeatable prices on food, decorations, and the top gifts of the season, all at unbeatable prices.
You can also go to Walmart.com to get what you need for the holidays. My man. Walmart's here to help you save money and make holiday shopping easier than ever.
So you can make every day till Christmas count.
Let the joy begin! There's my ride home.
Oh, Blitzen.
No, that's Donner.
Bring it on!
Watch what you wish for when it comes to cold and snow.
Yeah, winter doesn't officially start until December 21st, but 200 million people are about to shiver their way through this teeth-chattering polar air invasion. I mean, the eastern two-thirds of the country impacted by this one. A lot of you are really going to notice this temperature plunge. It starts Monday, where highs will only be in the 20s for Sioux Falls and Billings.
And when you factor in the strong wind, it will certainly feel even colder. Let's see what meteorologist Alex Wallace recently experienced in a freezer. How long can his body survive in this Arctic air?
right, so now we're getting over 8 minutes in here in this incredibly cold freezer. So I'm going to try to do some simple tasks, things that you could do every day with no problems. But now that I'm frigid and my fingers are about to almost fall off, let's see if I can do some simple things. So I'm just going to try to do a little writing here. I'll try to write my name with my fingers. It's very tough to do so right now. It's very numb, but giving it a shot and not looking too terrible. It's a little jagged at times. But all in all, at least right now, I'm able to do that. But it was a little bit of a struggle. Got one other thing I can try. Got some scissors. Try to see if I can maybe cut right along the lines here of this paper. First of all, it's hard to even hold this paper right now. But here we go. Here we go, cutting. I'm definitely shivering quite a bit. But at this point, still able to cut with no problems. But again, very numb fingers. That is what I'm really experiencing right now. Out of everything on my body, it's the fingers. So I think at this point, I may try to get some gloves on, maybe even a hat to cover up this noggin.
I understand.
I bet you do.
We go to the same barber. I understand the head getting cold.
Right.
More of Alex's Arctic adventure at 40 past the hour. That chill definitely setting in.
Oh, for sure. But is it cold enough for him to grab the gloves and the hat? I think the answer is yes. And we're going to see how the wind will actually make it feel even colder.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? Speaking of cold places, let's take you live now to Yellowstone National Park. Plenty of sunshine today. High temperatures climbing into the 50s, which really isn't all too bad, right? But we are going to see a big change in this pattern. The Arctic blast sweeping through the nation affects places like the national park, but also Billings. Look at this. Saturday, sunshine 63. Monday, temperatures only in the low 20s. You'll see some snow showers coming into play. Look at the lows by Tuesday and Wednesday. You will bottom out close to 0. So it is going to get cold, if not colder, over the next couple of days. And you know what? Let's follow this polar air invasion. Bonnie, over to you.
Thanks so much, Mark. We're taking a look at the next 7 days because the polar air is coming in. It's going to impact millions of people. It doesn't really matter where you are. Maybe Southern California, okay, you won't feel it, but so many other places will. Starting off with today, not too bad. We've got high temperatures in the 40s in the Midwest, but the Midwest, you're certainly going to feel it in the days to come. Temperatures for highs dropping down below 40 for Minneapolis. And then by the time you get to Monday, it's a wide stretch of snow stretching all the way from Idaho to northern Michigan. We could see some heavy accumulations. By Tuesday, temperatures are still cold, but it's really Wednesday and Thursday that you start to feel that bitter blast of cold polar air coming through. Temperatures in the 20s. On Thursday, we'll see highs only in the 20s and in the 30s across parts of the Midwest, and we're really feeling that bitter blast, Mark, going through this week.
Yeah, the polar air invasion has a big impact, not only in the week ahead, but right now on this weekend, including some big football games that could determine who plays for the NCAA national title. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow taking off the meteorologist hat and going sports on us. The cold weather could play a major role. He's going to break it down. And how about Winter Storm Astro on the horizon? We'll tell you about the chances for that next.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
Okay, Patrick, one more stop. Let's go base, sharp, blitz. Base, sharp, blitz.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, this is for the game.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Plug like this, Abort, he's keeping it.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
This is a Pip.
It's part of a Hershey's bar.
We break it.
We bite it.
We sneak it.
We smush it. We savor it.
We love it.
Hershey's is mine. Yours.
Our chocolate.
良質熟練の技革新
1000年の歴史を持つ文化が最先端の製造技術を使うと、待てよ、あれ？これってクライスラー？
Reliability is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
This is a map of the pressure points on my feet.
I had flat feet. I learned where the stress was at the Dr. Scholl's Foot Mapping Center. Then I got my number, which matched the custom-fit orthotic inserts with the right support.
Go to drscholl's.com for locations and save $10.
I'm a believer.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel. An Arctic blast means record lows in the eastern part of the country, our first major snowfall out west, and we're tracking a storm that could affect travel plans for millions.
BBC America's The Game is a suspenseful thrill ride that you won't want to miss. Xfinity TV customers can stay one step ahead with early access to new episodes before they air.
It's nice to see you again.
Watch next week's episode of The Game right now with Xfinity On Demand. On your TV, online at xfinity.com/TV, or with the Xfinity TV Go app. The Game, all new episodes, Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on BBC America.
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Just looking over the company bills.
Is that what we pay for internet?
Yep, DSL's about $90 a month.
That's funny. For that price with Comcast Business, I think you get like 50 megabits.
Wow, that's fast.
Personally, I prefer slow internet. There is something about the sweet, meditative glow of a loading website.
Don't listen to the naysayer. Switch to Comcast Business today and get 50 megabits per second for $89.95. Comcast Business, built for business.
985-5891. That's 1-800-985-5891.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we are checking out your winter weather update. And for this winter weather update, we have to go way outside the lower 48, all the way up to the Bering Sea and the islands off of Alaska. And look at this huge, powerful pinwheel low pressure system. This is going to have an impact on your weather over the week ahead. And believe it or not, that low has ties all the way back to the tropics. There's Super Typhoon Nori. Remember this one from a week and a half ago or so? Came across, skirted Japan. Now it's up here, no longer tropical at all. It's just a regular old area of low pressure, except this thing is huge, it's strong, it is deepening, and it's going to have an implication on the jet stream pattern downstream. And that's where we are, downstream, right? So you have this powerful Aleutian low, and you've got that counterclockwise spin, as all area of low pressures have. And well, out ahead of that low, the southerly flow is going to bring up the warm air. So much warm air that it actually jumps up the jet stream. It pushes the jet into this huge ridge that covers Alaska and the west coast of the U.S. And you know what comes up? Must come down, and so you have this big trough across the east, and that's what allows the Arctic air to settle on in. We're definitely going to see this cold air plunge. Northerly winds kick in 10, 20, if not 30 degrees below average. Look at Minneapolis, right, where the average high is 46. Nowhere near that. 10, maybe 11 days, the earliest start to one of these streaks ever, if it works out, holding on to these types of temperatures. And of course, we got to talk about the snow, as we will have some precipitation moving through. Winter storm watches are up across Montana. Winter weather advisories out across North Dakota. And here's the setup. An area of low pressure will be riding along the center of the country. Out ahead of that, you get moisture flowing up from the south. It goes up and over the warm front into the cold air dome. It's called overrunning, and because this cold air dome will fill the atmosphere, it will be so cold the precipitation will fall out as snow in this case, Bonnie. Several inches across the northern tier. Over to you.
A primer of unseasonably chilly air could make for some rough football this weekend. That includes one big game tonight. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow shows us how Ohio State and Michigan State do when temperatures tumble.
We got a huge matchup in the Big Ten on Saturday night. Has national title implications as well. Talking about number 14 Ohio State going into East Lansing, taking on the Spartans of Michigan State. And the weather forecast is cold. Rain earlier in the day, but maybe a few flurries sticking around, but mid to low 30s throughout the game. It made us think, okay, how do the teams deal with cold weather? We look back in the record books here for Michigan State 2 years ago, and temperatures similar to tonight. They actually played 3 games, lost 2 of them. Now, last season, they played 2 games in the cold, won both, but the defense stepped up, holding both opponents to under 7 points. And this season, they only played 1 game so far. Last month in the cold against Nebraska, they gave up a lot of yards, over 320. 282 in passing yards, but they still won in the cold weather. Now, what about the Buckeyes here? Well, we go back 2 seasons ago. They played 1 game in weather like Saturday night's weather, and they did beat Michigan and gave up decent yards, under 300 yards in terms of the defense. 1 year ago, they played 2 games in the cold weather, and they won both of those. And so far this year, last week, they played their first game in the cold weather so far this season, and they won that. Won it big over the Illini and held them to under 250 yards of offense. So, again, Ohio State is 4-0 in the past 3 seasons in cold weather. Michigan State, by the way, is 4-2 in those cold weather games. So in terms of the overall defense so far this year with Ohio State, most of their stats are in the top 20 of the league, and in fact, 8th in terms of total defense. So pretty decent stats there. But what about Michigan State? Well, most of those stats are in the top 20 except for scoring defense. But overall defense, total defense, is a little bit better than Ohio State. But based on past performance in cold weather games, with Michigan State giving up a lot of passing yards, well, my actual edge and advantage goes to Ohio State based on the forecast for the game, as well as previous performances. I'd say take Ohio State and just 2 points. They're the underdog. I think they'll go into East Lansing and win based on the weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Paul. Man, cold air affecting millions of people. This polar air invasion packing a punch.
Sure, and starting with those who live in the northern Rockies and the northern plains, Mike Seidel joins us next to show us how cold it actually feels.
My son is going to wash the family Prius. He insisted on using the rain to save water. 14 years ago, I insisted on buying our first Prius. Because, like Toyota, we both know there's a way to do things, and a way to do things even better. The Prius. Toyota. Let's go places.
Every time you use Dawn, you're using a brand that supports wildlife rescue efforts. Because it's tough on grease, yet gentle. Be a part of the bigger picture. Go to facebook.com, Dawn Saves Wildlife.
She inspires you. No question about that. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
What makes Thermacare different? 2 words. It heals. How? With heat. Unlike creams and rubs that mask the pain, Thermacare has patented heat cells that penetrate deep to increase circulation and accelerate healing. Let's review. Heat plus relief plus healing equals Thermacare. The proof that it heals is you.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that words really can hurt you?
What?
Jesse, don't go! Jesse, no!
I'm sorry, Daisy. But I'm a loner. And a loner's gotta be alone.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
Monday on the Weather Channel morning, start your week off weather smart. An Arctic outbreak rapidly approaching from the north, bringing frigid temperatures, high winds, and in some cases, snow. How low will your temperatures go and for how long? Wake up without an AMHQ Monday morning on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early. Thunder possible. Low 66. Sunday, rain. High 74. Chance of rain 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Good morning from Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel on not a bad day today, but you should see what's coming down the pike from the good old north. We've got Arctic air. We have our first snowstorm of the season. We've got it all for you. We've got you covered, too. Coming up.
And get ready for more layers. Welcome into Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider in for Kate Parker. Our big story today, the polar air invasion on tap to impact 2/3 of the U.S. And these freezing and below average temperatures could linger for up to 10 days.
Yeah, absolutely brutal amounts of cold air. Of course, today is just the teaser zone. We've been asking you for your pictures, right? Hashtag your weekend on social media.
And this picture comes to us from Saddleback, Maine, from Caden Shea. And they certainly had some snow near the Sugarloaf Resort, and I think we'll get more snow certainly this week. Mark?
Yeah, you know, some of that cold air and some of that snow is coming to this town. People out and about, though, in Deadwood, South Dakota today. Partly to mostly sunny this weekend. High temperatures will be in the mid-50s. Watch out for that car, ladies. Yeah, there's no crosswalk there. What? In any case, it's a small town. They're allowed to do that. In any case, we're going to see much colder air. People are walking by that same camera in a few days. They will be dressed very differently. Say goodbye to the mid to upper 50s in a place like Deadwood. Say hello to 20 with blowing snow on Monday. Snow showers with a low near 6 below. On Tuesday. It is going to be chilly. We can follow this polar air invasion as we go through the next week. Brutally cold compared to what you may have experienced just even a couple of days before. Look at Denver. 71 is the forecast for Sunday. 71. Look what happens by Wednesday. 20. That's your high temperature. The low will be even colder than that. It's going to be brutal. Here's the setup, right? We're going to see this big dip in the jet stream. That's allowing the cold air that we're seeing across the northern tier to get all the way down to the Gulf Coast states. And it's allowing the very cold air that was up by the Arctic Circle to come down close to the northern tier of the United States. It is a polar air outbreak. It's got all of that kind of signature. That's where that air mass started, and it won't have a lot of time to modify. So as it engulfs the country 10 to 20 degrees below average for those high temperatures, some areas like Denver could be even closer to 30 degrees below average. Rapid City for Monday, 25 degrees will be the best you can do. Look at Denver, 25 below average with a high near 28 on Tuesday. By Wednesday, even colder still, 20 in Denver, more than 30 degrees below average. St. Louis, you'll be near 40. Chicago, you'll be near 32. That's almost 20 degrees below your average. So this week, what a change we see. Chicago, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, far and away different from where we were just a few days before. Bonnie.
Thanks so much, Mark. Well, Mike Seidel certainly is in Minneapolis this morning. And Mike, I know, of course, that Minnesotans are used to the cold. I mean, but it's coming kind of early, and it's going to stick around. It looks like the sun is shining behind you, but do you think folks there are really ready for this?
Well, they better be, because there's nothing stopping it. There's no fence at the Canadian-U.S. border, no wall. We do have a little sunshine, low sun angle. In fact, I haven't seen the sun because the angle's so low when you're downtown this time of the year. The sun doesn't get high enough to get over a lot of these buildings. Back here, we're at 35 degrees. The wind chill's in the mid-20s. Not a half-bad morning by Twin City standards for mid-November. But what is coming is going to knock your socks off. Teeth-chattering weather for the first time in not one day like last week. This is a long-term deal. This is going to stick around for at least a week to 10 days, if not beyond. Keep in mind the average high now in the Twin Cities in the mid-40s. We're looking down towards Nicollet Mall, which will be all decorated for Christmas in the coming days. Big shopping mall behind me, and the free transit up and down the street. Take a look at the snowfall forecast. That's the first concern right out of the box. Monday morning commute. We'll see how schools make out. But 5 to 8 right now is what we're calling for Minneapolis-St. Paul. There'll be some higher totals. And as you go north and south into the drier air, especially north, you'll see less snowfall totals. Temperatures, bottom line, it's going into the deep freeze. It will stay there for a long, long time. We're talking highs staying below freezing for at least 10 days straight. Second longest stretch on record in November is 11. So, guys, get ready. We're going to have some great pictures beginning Monday morning here from Minnesota. Back to you.
Thanks, Mike. And you know, with all this talk of the polar air invasion, it's conjuring up flashbacks of that term we heard a lot last winter.
That's for sure. But is this early blast of winter that we're about to see also called the polar vortex? Our experts explain.
Polar vortex sounds more like a Nicolas Cage movie, doesn't it? Sound like, we gotta get out of this vortex. The dollar bill has a polar bear on it.
I want to salute whoever came up with the term polar vortex. It is terrifying, but still sounds all science-y.
Well, earlier this year, the term polar vortex stormed its way back into the popular vernacular. Guess what? It's back in vogue.
Temperatures are about to drop dramatically in much of the country. It's the return of the polar vortex.
The polar vortex is going to be allowed to make its way further south, and not just into the plain states, but by the end of next week, it will be as far south as northern Florida.
Yes, winter weather is here, and with it comes yet another media avalanche of that term polar vortex. But here's what you can only get at the Weather Channel. Pop culture meets our experts at the lab. I'm here with Dr. Greg Postel. And Greg, hopefully we're going to explain what the polar vortex is. Now, this is one of your areas of expertise, so let's get right into it.
The polar vortex is basically just a circulation that surrounds the coldest air that is often found at the poles, and it extends over many altitudes. I mean, it can go up to 100,000 feet in or more in what's called the stratosphere, and there it often looks a lot different than it does at the jet stream level. Up there, it looks often just symmetrical, like circular, swirling around the pole like that, sometimes with a couple of wiggles in it, sometimes many more than that, but more often than not, it looks a lot different down near the jet stream level at 30,000 feet, for example, where it oftentimes extends its filaments, its fingers, way into southern latitudes, into places like the lower 48 or in parts of Asia or in parts of Europe. It's a part of the process where it extends the really cold air, normally at the North Pole, pretty far south.
Okay, and we can see that as we're coming up here next week. This is just an excellent example of what happens when one of those filaments breaks off and works its way down.
Yeah, here's one. These lavender colors represent the coldest of all the air, and you can see these pieces are broken off and they come southward into the United States. But, you know, it's going to be really, really cold, and we can actually thank some of this, I think, in some relationship to what happened in the West Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
Big tropical cyclone in the West Pacific, Nuri, super typhoon out that way, helped amplify the pattern a little bit and helped send the jet stream way far north. Like, for example, look at next week. Some of these jet stream flows here are showing you how tall this ridge is in the jet stream. A warm bubble aloft is way up there. And when that happens, when you shove that warm air north, the response in the atmosphere is to get cold downstream of that oftentimes. And this is no exception. It's happened before, and it'll happen again.
Boy, as a result of that, look what happens in the U.S. next week with our temperatures, Greg. This is really something for this time of the year to see all of these areas that are much below average for their temperatures.
Yeah, it's a huge territory here that's going to be covered, not just for a couple of days, but perhaps maybe 1, maybe 2 weeks. And if you look at some of these numbers in average sense, if you think of it 40, 50, 60 being your average high, subtract 10, 15, 20 degrees from that on average for an extended period. That's a pretty big deal.
So is that cold air next week going to be a piece of the polar vortex?
Yeah, it is. And it probably happens more often than you think.
And today we're preparing you for the impending polar air invasion.
Our Alex Wallace is facing the deep freeze head on, all in the name of science.
Well, millions are about to experience the polar air invasion. I'm taking one for the team, standing in this sub-zero freezer to show you how the body reacts to the frigid conditions.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Discover Brookside and discover an exciting combination of tastes. Rich, dark chocolate covering soft centers, flavored with exotic fruit juices. It's chocolate and fruit flavors like you've never experienced before. Discover Brookside.
We were flattered when Regenerist beat $100 cream. Flabbergasted when we creamed a $300 cream. For about $30, Regenerist Microsculpting Cream hydrates better than over 15 of America's most expensive luxury creams. Regenerist. Olay, your best beautiful.
Hurry! There's a hot offer for heartburn sufferers. Now try Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com. Hurry! It's free this week only. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Get Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building. Turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's share the news tomorrow.
Today we're fairly busy. Tomorrow we're booked solid.
We close on the house tomorrow.
Want one of these opened up? Because tomorrow we go live, everyone.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today? Even bigger one tomorrow.
When CSX trains move forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
Average work pants versus a grab-happy grizzly. Duluth fire hose work pants versus a grab-happy grizzly. Duluth Trading Fire Hose Work Pants. Tougher than a grizzly's grope. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
There it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Why do you want to get everybody Spring Valley vitamins from Walmart? Because you need him to feel healthy for your big reunion. Because you need to feel the moves, not the ears.
Dance Team Captain 94.
And because you need Grandpa to feel like he has more energy than they do. Shop the whole line of Spring Valley vitamins now. Only at Walmart.com and Walmart.
The getaway vehicle.
For all the confidence you need. TD Ameritrade. You got this.
When disaster strikes, the first response team of America goes straight into a storm-ravaged area. Their goal? To help change the lives of those affected. In this week's Responding by Storm, Tad Agolia reflects on some of the stories behind the storms.
I've traveled the country responding to over 70 communities hit hard by natural disasters. And many of the people I've helped actually captured our work in pictures. And behind each image is an amazing story. Responding to disasters can be extremely heartbreaking. These photos show what it was really like in the aftermath of the Haiti earthquake. There were so many children left in the aftermath of the quake without parents. Young children literally living on the streets. In this photo, you're seeing a grandmother hold her grandchild. And in the other hand, a photo of the child's mother who didn't make it through the earthquake. And I remember being in Haiti that first couple of days, and I thought to myself, there's over 1 million people in need here. What good could my first response team do? And then I realized that even if we helped a couple of hundred people that day, at least we were making a difference. Natural disasters don't just affect humans, they affect animals. When severe weather strikes, you'll find all over disasters animals looking for their owners in their homes. This one photo here of the yellow lab is of an owner being reunited with his dog for the first time. In this specific disaster in Parkersburg, Iowa, the tornado was so powerful it literally picked up cars and tossed them all over the city. This one dog, in the process of looking for its owner, must have found its owner's car, got into the car through a broken window and sat in the front seat until the owner found the car and the dog. The dog must have been sitting in there for about 3 days. Today I finally took the time to look back and to remember all the storms, all the faces, all those stories, and it makes me proud to be a part of the first response team. I'm proud of the work we've done.
Well, to learn more about Tad Agolia and the First Response Team of America, go to weather.com/responder. Mark?
Well, this week will be the first for hundreds of millions, the first taste of real winter cold, bitter cold, and snow impacting 2/3 of the country. It's all what we're talking about and showing you. And our Alex Wallace took one for the team, went inside a freezer to test these polar type temps, and he's really starting to feel it now. Alex.
I think it's time for the gloves and the hat. Dr. Sylvia, if you could get the gut for me, that'd be great.
Absolutely. You need more than that, but yeah, we'll get that for you.
All right, about 14 and a half minutes in here, and it's definitely cold enough now that I've got to get some my skin covered. So I got Dr. Sylvia to bring me some items here to cover up. And one thing I want to talk about, Dr. Sylvia, is the fact that we're in this freezer. It's pretty still. There's not a whole lot of wind. We all know in the great outdoors, that's generally not the case. You get a little wind, and that makes it feel a lot worse. So tell us about what happens when that wind really kicks into our bodies.
Well, the wind actually leaches heat from the body as well. So it's not just that you're standing in the cold where you're losing heat from your body. The wind says, hey, I need a little bit of heat as well. So it removes the heat. So any exposed surfaces, so I'm going to hand you a hat to figure out which one you want to cover your head.
Let's go with the regular cap right now.
Okay.
All right. And not too bad, but the thing that's exposed, the ears.
Absolutely. And people lose the tips of their ears when they get frostbite. So we want to try and cover up the ears.
All right, so let's go with something a little more appropriate.
Wonderful.
This one here, definitely going to cover up the ears. And yes, that feels so much better.
How about a coat?
I think I'm going to follow the doctor's advice next time. All right, now we're in business.
I don't know, we might have made it too easy on him now.
He had that Weather Channel coat. He's good
Those
now.
are warm.
Yeah.
We'll have plenty more of Alex's polar experiment in about 30 minutes.
Alex is now completely layered up. He'll show you what you should be doing to prepare and keep warm and the age groups that are most susceptible to this dangerous cold.
Yeah, so we're going to be following this cold air outbreak moving its way across the country, eventually getting all the way to the East Coast. New York City, by the end of this upcoming week, you're going to see a taste of this cold. Kind of setting the mood, though, for the ice skaters in the Rockefeller Christmas
tree. It looks beautiful out there, but it's...
Responding by storm, powered by Ram trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so...
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Pets take care of us in so many ways. At Petco, we do what we can to return the favor with choices like Natural Balance, Ultra Whole Body Health, a gluten-free diet that also supports brain health. Because true companions always look out for each other. Petco.
Now, Centrum Silver has a new easy-to-swallow coating. So the nutrients for your eyes, heart, and brain go down easier. For a limited time, get your $4 coupon at Centrum.com.
That looks terrible.
Hey there! Gorilla Clear Repair.
Of course.
Gorilla Clear Repair provides a high-tack adhesive with durable, weather-resistant backing that conforms for a crystal clear fix.
Good work, hon. While you were fixing the grill, I repaired my book, your phone screen, the car taillight, and the kids' inflatable jump house.
Nice. Gorilla Clear Repair for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Somewhere out there, a high-tech factory is being built, preparing to manufacture world-class products. And it's happening right here in America. At WeatherTech, American workers in American factories are creating the highest quality automotive accessories, including laser-measured, custom-fit floor liners. Order yours today.
I want to find one girl to help my brand to go on.
I'm excited. I'm going to work for DVF.
I'm gonna kill this thing.
There's a lot of responsibility. Maybe more than we were prepared for.
This is an opportunity to get a job.
Don't blow it.
This is a business. Every hour is costing thousands of dollars.
You look hungover.
What is wrong with you?
House of DVF, tomorrow at 10.
I see how much they have to learn.
Money.
Watching the NFL on Xfinity from Comcast is like having the best seat in the house on game day. Because NFL Red Zone gives you a front row seat to the biggest plays around the league, including every touchdown from every game Sunday afternoons, live, all on one channel. Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network when you add the sports entertainment package for just $4.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Visit Comcast.com/NFL today.
Order, but you must call right now.
To order your Lipozene, call 1-800-997-4948. That's 1-800-997-4948.
If you miss tomorrow night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tomorrow night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we're taking a live look at Rapid City, South Dakota. One of those cities that just says, we don't need to decorate for Thanksgiving. We're going to jump right into one holiday ahead, but that's okay because the weather is going to set the mood for you this week. An Arctic blast on the way. So don't get used to these temperatures in the 50s to near 60 today. Oof, it is going to be cold. We've got some cold air coming, and check this out. Winter storm watches are up across Montana. They're also into North Dakota. So we are going to go right on into your winter weather update. Check this out. We've got not only the cold, we've been talking about the cold air, right? We've been talking about it all show long. Let's talk about the snow. People keep asking, well, how much snow are we going to see? Let's get into the setup here. We're actually going to see a pretty good setup for some snow. An area of low pressure will drop into the center of the country. The cold air is this blue line. That's a 32-degree line. South of there would be rain, but north of there is where we're talking cold enough for snow. And we can show you this setup another way. The cold air is going to be firmly entrenched across the northern tier. But thanks to this area of low pressure, the southerly winds are going to be cranking, bringing up moisture all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico. And in a fancy weather term known as overrunning, we're going to be able to see this warm front and this kind of wedge of cold air lift up that moisture into the atmosphere. We'll get clouds and we'll eventually get precipitation. And because that cold air dome is so big, it will be falling as snow. That includes Des Moines, it includes Minneapolis, it includes Green Bay. Chicago, you might miss out on this one. You might be just a little bit too far south. You know what, the models are actually in pretty good agreement as to what type of snow and how much snow we're going to see. It raises our confidence for this one. This is the European model, and look at swath of 5 to 8 inches of snow, a little bit of heavier amounts near the UP across the northern tier. We can also look at the U.S. GFS, similar, right? Another swath, that 5 to 8, that purple color in a very similar location. So our forecast looks basically just like these two, giving you 5 to 8 in a place like Minneapolis. And in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you normally will we'll see 1 inch of snow. Your first inch near November 10th by 6 inches. You have to wait until January. So if you do wind up getting snows that are that impressive, it will be earlier than you typically see them. Now, getting back to the cold air, it's tied all the way back to this area of low pressure near Alaska. And this low actually has some ties all the way back to the tropics. Remember Super Typhoon Nuri? Well, that's the system that eventually gave us this huge area of low pressure near the Bering Sea. And that has implications all the way downstream. We're going to see warm air pushing up the jet stream over the west coast and into Canada. Cold air plunges into the east. So we've got cold, we've got precip. Bonnie, looks like winter.
It sure does. That storm really will be bringing some very strong winds, hurricane-force winds and waves up to 50 feet in Alaska's Aleutian Islands. We spoke with the U.S. Coast Guard to see how they're preparing for the storm.
We've been putting out warnings for probably coming up on a week or so now, and we'll continue to do that. We're monitoring the storm as it approaches Alaska. Our experience in the past with the mariners in Alaska is they're typically, I would say the majority of the time, very respectful of the warnings, and they're very respectful of what these storms can bring into our area. So I don't anticipate resistance to that, and we really haven't seen that at this point.
The U.S. Coast Guard station in Alaska is one of the largest in the nation. They have helicopters and cutters on standby for potential rescues over the next few days as this storm moves through.
So again, in the week ahead, most of the country will be dealing with extremely cold conditions, thanks in part to the remnants of what was once Nuri. Now, 200 million people will experience these dangerously cold temperatures. So here's what you need to do to prepare for the cold.
Make sure everyone has hats and gloves and scarves. The layer that's closest to your skin should actually be wool or synthetic, not cotton as you may think, because cotton does a bad job of moisture management, I guess, unless you're trying to stay cool.
Yeah, and you know what? You want to keep this cold weather out. So this weekend, check the weather stripping around the doors and windows in your homes, because you don't want that Arctic air seeping in. Vehicles could take a hit as well. Cold weather really takes a toll on the electrical system, so check that car battery and have the jumper cables ready.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 79, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, thunder possible, low 66. Sunday, rain, high 74. Chance of rain, 60%. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Are about to experience the polar air invasion. I'm taking one for the team, standing in this sub-zero freezer to show you how the body reacts to the frigid conditions.
Thanks, Alex. And here are the cold, hard facts about this polar air invasion. More than 200 million of you in the eastern 2/3 of the nation are going to feel the cold. And wait until you hear how long it's going to stick around.
I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel in the Twin Cities this morning, where it is not a bad start to the weekend. But by the time you get in the car and head back to work Monday, it's going to be a whole different world here in the upper Midwest.
And they say snowflakes are like fingerprints. No two are exactly alike. Or are they? We answer that age-old question right here, right now on Weather Center Live.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider in for Kate Parker. Our big story today is the polar air invasion. Freezing temperatures, and they'll linger likely up to 10 days for millions of people.
Yeah, you know, this weekend is really just the appetizer course. The first kind of Suzanne du chill, a little taste of cold air that's still to come. Some of you in Metro Atlanta bundled up against the chilly temperatures this morning. They were in the upper 30s here at the headquarters of the Weather Channel because people outside wanted to see an implosion of a former hotel in DeKalb County. Check out this explosive video from Brian Bruck.
Late next week, the temperatures will be crashing down even here in Atlanta as polar air takes hold. Mark, it looks like the Midwest is one place that's going to be feeling this blast early on.
Yeah, you know, let's look at the Twin Cities. Here's Minneapolis for you, right? And it's a pleasant day today. Cool, but not really cold yet. You'll be in the 40s. It will be a chilly game, a chilly tailgate. The Minnesota Gophers taking on Iowa today. There will be some snow showers possibly later on tonight. But again, this is just the beginning. We're going to get you ready for the big cold air outbreak by just giving you the kind of cool weekend. Nice and cool, right? This is just the beginning, though. Much colder air on the way. Here's the cold front. It's now all the way over near the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley. Strong northwest winds behind that front, bringing in the cool air. You really don't have too much in the way of precipitation here across the northern tier where you have had the wind. What you do have is some rain and snow showers here in northern Michigan, the UP. You've got some of those snow showers in place. In fact, if you're traveling up 75, you'll run right into some of that snow. So be careful if you're still going up north as the weekend goes on. As for your temperatures today, it'll be chilly, but not all that cold. 5 to 10 degrees below average from the northern tier into the Great Lakes today. Tomorrow, a similar pattern. 5 below average in Minneapolis, about 4 below average in Detroit. That still means the upper 40s this time of year. And so this weekend, not bad. Minneapolis today, 41. Tomorrow, some extra clouds in upper 30s. A similar pattern as we work our way into Detroit. Cloudy today and tomorrow, mid-40s. But Bonnie, tell us, this is just the beginning of the cold.
It sure is. And Minnesota's Twin Cities will really feel the brunt of the coming polar air invasion. And someone who doesn't mind polar air whatsoever is our own Mike Seidel. He's always right in the heart of where the action is. And Mike, in Minneapolis right now, it looks like temperatures are comfortable, but it's going to just get so cold so quickly.
It will, and although I like polar air, after that minus 40 wind chill I stood out in last winter, you know, you get to a point where you got to draw the line. But it's not going to get that cold. After all, it is November. Down here in Nicollet Mall as the traffic picks up, everybody in town for the game, Iowa versus Minnesota. And also, we've got Christmas shoppers. We also have Nick Deacon and his son Graham in from Minneapolis on the bike. Now, a lot of people in the lower latitudes would say they would never get out on a bike when it's 35, 36 degrees.
We're just enjoying a nice fall day.
And how cold will you ride the bike in?
Oh, well, I won't take him out much colder than this, but yeah, we can ride.